Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. On this channel we talk about all things fandom and we talk about them in a positive way. That's something that appeals to you, you know you're in the right place. Now today we got to talk about Halloween Ends. By the time you see this video, the review embargo will be lifted and we will be able to talk about it freely. However, I'm going to give you a non-spoiler review, and I ask that people don't give spoilers in the comments at least for a few weeks. Respect other fans as they may not want spoilers. We'll jump right into that review. Alright, so I'm back from the event I attended tonight, and I'm back from the movie. So let's jump right into this review. And Halloween Ends is every bit as decisive as you have been told, with one exception, and that is looking at it from the standpoint of a fan. You will find that this movie is not as bad as what you're probably being led on to believe. Now, I say this, but let me elaborate. The movie is not supernatural in any way, shape, or form. It does tend to try to make Michael Myers a human being. And it does tend to make everybody else in the movie revolve around this scenario of Michael Myers being just a human being. Now, there is no supernatural, but there is good old-fashioned insanity. Alright, so it's not the best Halloween film out there. And if you go in with that mindset, that this is the trilogy they set out to make, this is Laurie Strode's grand finale trilogy. More importantly, it's Jamie Lee Curtis's grand finale trilogy. And you go in with that mindset, you're going to enjoy this film a lot more than you think you would. Now, it does pay homage to Christine and several other things, as I have always been saying that I believe if they do it, it's going to be subtle, and it was all very subtly done. But a lot of it, while it was subtly done, it instantaneously did bring to mind the plot of Christine. It instantaneously did bring in mind some of the other movies that I compared it to. In fact, I compared this movie and everything I had heard about it to Friday the 13th, A New Beginning. And I stand by that. After seeing this movie, this really is Friday the 13th, A New Beginning. And not for any one reason. But the main reason isn't the reason I had been thinking at all. The main reason that I compare this now to Friday the 13th, A New Beginning, is because Laurie Strode is facing this eternal nightmare, this eternal fear of, does she still fear Michael Myers? She is Tommy Jarvis in this movie. She's Tommy Jarvis really facing the fact that she still fears the boogeyman. The books she's writing, everything she's trying to do over the past couple years isn't really working for her. And I think if you go in and you see that part of the plot, you see that element to the plot, you start to feel where they intended to go with this film. And yes, it is the goodbye to Jamie Lee Curtis. It is the goodbye to Laurie Strode. Now, and also, if you're a fan of 80s slasher films, like any of the Friday the 13th, any of the Nightmare on Elm Streets, any of the films like Halloween in the 80s, you know where this goes. You know what happens in the end of this movie. You do know what happens in the end of this movie. and go in with that mindset that this is a cheesy 80s movie. And not only is it a cheesy 80s movie, this really is Friday the 13th, A New Beginning. And if you go in with that mindset, I feel like you will enjoy this movie a lot more. The movie has some intense, good scenes. Overall, it is not a garbage movie unless you are going in solely expecting to see nothing but Michael Myers. Michael Myers has always been a stalker-ish character. He's always kind of hung in the background of things. And this movie is no different. One thing that I legitimately did enjoy about this movie was Michael Myers' character in this movie. For as little time as he is in this movie, and let's face it, Michael Myers is not in a lot of his own movies a lot. Especially like when you have the original one and you have part 2. Michael Myers is in maybe 20 minutes or 30 minutes of the film, of those two films. Now you take 2018, we had a lot of Michael Myers in that film, and that might be why people enjoyed it, because they were used to part 4 and part 5 and other films that really were Michael heavy. But going back to the classic first two, and, seeing that Michael Myers isn't the main focus, but the characters we're supposed to feel sorry for, because Halloween always did something weird there. They tried to make us feel sorry for these characters. And this movie does that. It tries to make us feel very sorry for these characters. And while it does it, it gives us enough twists and turns. And even though some of these twists and turns you kind of saw coming, the reasoning for them may not be what you think. And it really does call to mind Christine. It calls to mind Friday the 13th, A New Beginning. I overall enjoyed the film for its cheesiness, and I thought it was a decent film. It was by far not the best. I actually give it 3 stars, and that's being a bit harsh. That's being harsh because I did know a lot about this movie, and I knew a lot going in. If I didn't know anything going into this movie, it might have gotten 4 stars. But it's going to get 3 stars because I did know a lot going into it. And a lot of what they did was predictable to me, who is kind of this massive fan of different films and genres, and I oftentimes will guess plots of the movie and what's going to happen. So I did kind of see a lot of this coming once the movie started. Once it started, I knew where it was going. I knew how it was getting there. And that's just me seeing way too many movies in my lifetime. So if you are one of those types of fans, you're probably going to see this plot from a mile away. And if you heard the spoilers, some of them are somewhat true. But the reasonings behind the things that are done, the reasonings behind the things that you have been told are not the reasons. And ultimately, I think that Laurie Strode, Jamie Lee Curtis, meant that she was saying you were going to be mad at this movie because she is not coming back for any other sequels. But also because it ends like an 80s horror movie. And an 80s horror movie, if you don't know how they end, watch one of those before you watch this movie and you will see exactly how this is going to end for Michael, how this is going to end for Laurie, how this is going to end for everyone else in the film. It's one of those types of endings. So I give the movie 3 stars, and that's being a bit harsh, but I want to know what you guys think. So, like always, Hit that like button because it helps the channel. Leave us a comment in the comment box. We like hearing from you. YouTube likes it. Share this video with all of your friends so they get the same great content you're getting. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button because Miko says we need more subscribers and Miko wouldn't lie to you. So definitely hit that subscribe button and then hit that notification bell so you don't miss a single video we do. And at the end of the day, friends, fandom is family.